Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I woke up this morning craving a Waffle House omelet. Now, I could probably go to the Waffle House and sit out in the parking lot and have them bring me the omelet and all that. But I decided that I was in the mood to cook myself an omelet, so I just got done cooking an omelet. I guess you'd call it an omelet. I'd use that term loosely because I'm not very good at cooking omelets, but I did the best I could, and it was pretty darn good. And I put jalapenos in it, so I'm wide awake right now. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a very interesting video. It's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to do something I don't do often, and that is this video, and this purely, I was led to this place. I was led to this place just by doing some research, and so I'm going to lead you there. Now, what's going to be different is that in this video, I'm going to tell you about another digital asset at the end, the one that I was led to. We've talked about it before on this channel. I'm going to talk about this digital asset as what I think will be one of the winners. In fact, if you compare this to digital assets being in a car, I would say XRP is firmly in the front seat driving this whole thing. But the one I'm going to talk to you today about, I believe, is one of the digital assets that will be in the back seat and that may ride the coattails of XRP. Okay, so that's not just me talking. I have never on what I've always said on this channel is that XRP is the one. It is the one. XRP, there's no digital asset, no company working on a use case for a digital asset that is anywhere in the realm of XRP or Ripple and the people there and all that. That's why I've built this channel pretty much around Ripple. But that does not mean, just as Brad Garlinghouse has said, that does not mean that there won't be other digital assets that are in the game. And at the end of this video, I will show you, and you'll understand completely why this particular one is also going to be in the game. I don't believe near to the extent that XRP will, but it'll be in the game. All right. So, but as I said, I was led to this place, and I wasn't going to just ignore what I found and not show you, so I'm going to show you. All right, but first, we're going to talk about some other things. Now, we've been for the last month and a half, 2 months, I've been showing you this document from Everest. You'll see right here, and we've gone over this before too. Everest is an NTT Data company. Okay, I've gone in and shown you how NTT is owned by this company, that's owned by this company. Ultimately, I believe that NTT and Everest and all of this is ultimately owned by the Japanese government. I believe it goes all the way to the top. NTT is a massive company. So when you look at this, this to me all ties into Japan, SBI, the reason they bought 10.5% of Ripple back in 2016. I think Japan is a huge part of all of this. So, but just to reiterate, this is the timeline that this document from Everest gives, and it talks about how interledger protocol, this will all be the standard, and hence XRP ledger will be at the center of everything. The final chart that they have in this that we've shown a lot on here is this, where XRP ledger is in the center of it all. So let's go and look one more time. This is the NTT Data. That's the company that owns that. I just want to reiterate that NTT Data is obviously on Team Ripple and is very involved in all of this. They're it's a Japanese multinational system integration company and partially owned subsidiary of Nippon Telegraph and Telephone. Anyway, this goes all the way to the top of the Chinese government. I hope you understand that by now. And I also showed you this. This was a tweet from back in 2016, September 26th. Everest team with our NTT Data colleagues in Ripple stand on day one of Cybos. And this is a tweet from Dilip Rao, Ripple looking awesome on day one of Cybos. But the NTT Data guys, since it's a Japanese company, these guys look like they might be Japanese. So these are the guys, and you can see Craig, I'm drawing a blank on Craig's last name. Anyway, Craig, why am I drawing a blank? I met this guy at Ripple. He's about 6'4". I was kind of looking up to the guy because I'm about 6'3". So, and he was a very nice, polished guy. And so I remember meeting him. But anyway, so there's NTT right there. Now, so I just decided I wanted to look around a little bit more about NTT, and I bumped into something. Really, I'm just showing you this because to me, it demonstrates how massive this company must be and how connected this company must be. But as much as anything, I thought it was just pretty interesting and fascinating, and I think you'll find it too. So I was looking around for NTT, and I found this article, and the article was called, if I can get to the top here, article was called 10 Things You Don't Know About NTT Data. Now that NTT Data has landed Perot systems, here are 10 of the most interesting, unusual, and wacky things NTT Data has been involved in since its founding 49 years ago. And this jumped out at me. So look at that picture. That's the Vatican. NTT Data is digitizing the Vatican Apostolic Library. NTT Data signed a 4-year agreement with the Vatican Apostolic Library in March 2014 to digitize 3,000 of the library's collection of 80,000 manuscripts. This deal was particularly unusual since the Vatican had very little experience dealing with the private sector companies that need to be paid. Most of its goods and services had been provided on a volunteer basis. NTT Data suggested the Vatican create a foundation to solicit donations from sponsors in conjunction with the release of archives, and then use those funds to cover NTT Data's business expenses. NTT Data also helped the Vatican set up a project team with expertise in legal affairs, finance, public relations, intellectual property, and risk management. So I read that and I was like, wow, what company could have this kind of access to be trusted to go in at the Vatican and digitize 80,000 manuscript. So anyway, I just thought that was a fascinating little piece of trivia about just how big a deal NTT Data is. So I went to YouTube just to look around and see if I could find a video on this, and I did. It's a 3-minute video, but it's really fascinating to watch, and I thought you would find it interesting. Watch this.
Qui ci sono I tesori della umanità, la propria memoria.
I thought that was really interesting that NTT Data was doing that. Okay, now let's move along here. Now I'm about to show you something very fascinating. This really grabbed me. Okay, this was copied to me on here. This is from XRP 93, who I don't follow, but now I do. NTT Data talking about the awakening of the banking industry. This just played as an advertisement whilst I was watching a digital asset investor. He was watching one of my videos, and he said that this was advertised. And so he said some of these films only have 45 views, an interview with R3. Now, I didn't even see this R3 part, but I was looking at this, and this is the channel that he directed me to. When you see these videos, folks, these are produced. When you watch these videos, these are produced to sell this digital asset space to the world. This is put together. And look, folks, and I'm going to be very upfront with you here. I believe that right now we are starting, and I don't know, I'm about to show you that Rahm Emanuel quote, never let a crisis go to waste. But look, I'm going to show it to you in this video today. It's right in front of your eyes now, folks. Whether things have been sped up now because of what's going on in the current events, I don't know why, but you are starting to see the acceleration of the movement towards digital assets, and it's all around you. So I want you to watch a couple of these. I'm hoping that these things don't have copyright or anything. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to play these on the video today, and I'm going to try it anyway. The first one is the trailer they've literally put together. It's almost like a TV show. Watch this.
Where am I?
My name is NTT. I bring you a message from the future.
What message? Well, what just happened?
Good luck saving your company.
Okay, so that's the first, that was the trailer. Now I want you to, the first episode is 6 minutes long. It's worth your time. I want you to watch this. It will blow your mind. And I may pause it at one point because of something that flashes on the screen that should blow your mind because it blew mine. Watch this.
That can't be right. The data has to be wrong.
Excuse me, Miss Moreau.
Yes, what is it?
Your partner asked me to give you this halfway through the flight. They also asked me to tell you it's time to wake up.
I'm sorry. What's that supposed to mean?
I have no idea. Would you like me to get you another drink?
No, I'm fine, thank you. I just don't understand it. In theory, we're doing everything right, and yet maybe if we were to merge again. That looks like our flagship office in Tokyo.
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
I'm sorry, who are you?
My name is Entity. I'm an artificial intelligence system. I bring you a message from the future.
What message?
Ruth, if you don't radically change the way you do things, your bank will disappear in 7 years and 120 days.
I'm sorry, that can't be right. You can't be telling the truth.
I have not been programmed to lie. I have been programmed to reveal the awakening of the banking industry to you.
I want you to look at that, and I want you to stare at that for about 3 seconds before I hit the play button. 1, 2, 3.
Where am I?
the main drivers of the change are always going to be commerce. How do people get to be able to reduce the cost base as much as they possibly can to deal with legislation, for instance, but at the same time make sure that the cost of change, replatforming, is not going to be prohibitive. Also, I think the other thing is that if you can show that there's a business uplift for the change, that's something that's absolutely mission critical for banks. So for example, with us as a machine learning company, it's been really essential to work out and to calculate if a bank is going to make the shift, what's the business upside going to be, what's the business case for this. There's an awful lot of talk, a lot of noise, a lot of buzzwords around technological shifts, but the thing that's essential is trying to calculate the business uplift before a bank will make any of those changes.
Do traditional banks companies have the sufficient technology to face the new players?
Probably not, is the answer. I mean, certainly for a traditional bank that's grappling with legacy systems, that is a huge challenge. As I was saying earlier, there's the cost of just making a small change. Just the people, the manpower cost to be able to make a change inside a bank is sometimes prohibitive to actually making the change. And also prioritizing. It's very difficult for a traditional company to be able to move away from the here and now and today's problems and to start to think about that long-term shift that's necessary. So I think that is, again, an area where we try to support banks in making those important decisions about what's right for the future.
In the end, it's all about the client and generating confidence with the client. How is the confidence of this new era going to be built, and how it is going to change their relationship with clients?
Well, we're already seeing a huge shift with regard to, sort of robotic assistance. In the first.
I'm going to stop it there. I'm not going to go any further into their interview, but you need to go and watch all of these. And I hope that this didn't do a copyright hit. If so, you won't see this video. But I hope that it worked out so that you can actually watch that in my video, because sometimes YouTube doesn't cooperate with me here. Okay. Now, let's move along. So from XRP Wizard, I was sent this. Now, remember, the most important thing you saw in that video I just showed you is basically the UN announced that it's going to go cashless. Let me tell you what, because of the current situation, we are starting to see this, folks. I don't know if these guys have, well, actually, I'll tell you what I think. I believe that the entire world has been ready to go digital. I believe the banks have been ready. The central banks have been ready. I think the United States has been ready. I think these world governments have been ready. I think they are ready. And I think it's been on the shelf. And I feel like maybe they're never letting the crisis go to waste, and that they're putting in motion what they already wanted to put in motion, which is to go cashless. That's what I feel like is going on. So look at this. This is just one article. Contactless payment limit increase. Why the maximum UK spend rise is they're increasing the contactless payment limit, whatever that means. So it says the contactless payment limit is being increased per transaction from Wednesday, 1st of April, as part of measures to combat the current event in the UK. So they're increasing this so you can see where this is going. Now, it's not just that. Look at this. This is from XRP Crypto. Well, researchers at the Bank for International Settlements think the pandemic may accelerate the adoption of digital payments and central bank digital currencies. Countries may expand digital payment systems with more mobile, contactless, and digital options. Does my 7-year-old need to draw you a picture, folks? This is one of those picture drawing moments. And it's not just, now remember, the Bank for International Settlements is like the central bank of central banks. It controls all the central banks of the world. It's like the organization that sits on top of them. All right. Now, so then there's this. This is from Deutsche Bank. The current event, pandemic, is accelerating the rise of central bank digital currencies as many governments see the handling of cash as a potential risk factor. This will likely add to calls to move towards digital cash, according to Deutsche Bank research colleague, who is this person. Excuse me. So, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, folks. That's the only thing I know to say to this. And then this is from Joni Gobronson, sent me this. This is the lady from the IMF that runs the IMF now. Her name is Kristalina Georgieva. Listen to how panicked she sounds.
We have $1 trillion war chest, and we are determined to use as much as necessary in that protecting the economy from the scarring of this crisis. We are mobilizing emergency financing assistance to countries, and I can tell you we have never seen ever such a growing demand for emergency financing. Already over 90 countries have been placing requests to the IMF for it. And this emergency financing is to underpin the appeal that you and I are putting out. And it is, please prioritize health expenditures, use money to pay doctors and nurses, make sure hospitals function, that there are makeshift clinics where necessary, and protect your economy, the most vulnerable people, firms, so they can hold on their workers.
Okay, so there's that. And what I say is this. This is from Rahm Emanuel, who helped, I think he was on Bill Clinton's staff, and also seems like he was part of the Hillary Clinton campaign. But I think he's the current mayor of Chicago, or at least he was. You never let a serious crisis go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. And I believe this is how politicians think. I believe this is a part of their playbook. I don't believe it's a coincidence that that digital dollar just popped up, even though it's not a part of the bill that they passed. That it was at the front of that bill, almost like somebody put it in there and everybody said, no, wait, we got to take this out. We need to have this in its own bill. So never let a crisis go to waste. Remember that. All right, then Mr. B at XRP Mr. sent me this. This is from the ECB that Christine Lagarde, who used to run the IMF, she sent this out. We have concluded an agreement with Riksbank, okay, we've talked about them before, that will give Sweden access to Target Instant Payment Settlement, the TIPS platform, in addition to Euro payments. TIPS will process electronic payments made in Swedish krona in real time as of May 2022. In crisis times, this agreement is a good example of strong cooperation between central banks in Europe. Our real-time settlement platform is a pivotal contribution to Europe's endeavors to satisfy citizens' increasing demand for faster, cheaper, and convenient payment services without compromising on security. Well, we know Ripple's history with Christine Lagarde at the IMF, but I wanted to look and see if Ripple had anything to do with this Target instant payment settlements platform and that kind of thing. So I looked around a little bit and I ran across this tweet. This is from Target Services, which is that TIPS platform. Peter Zilgovas, EU Commission, moderates a panel on disruptive potential of fintech innovations for the retail payments ecosystem with speakers from anyway, I don't have to go through all those, but Ripple, Marcus Treacher from Ripple is right there. Well, I went to see if I could go and find the video, and you'll never guess I found the video. It's from Bank XRP, who posts just about everything. He had it posted on his YouTube channel, so go give him a subscribe. Marcus Treacher, he's at the 1550 mark. Listen to what he says this is on the panel of these guys that's being recognized by that Target, the TIPS platform.
From NDLT with smart contracts are certainly one of the most efficient ones.
Yes, I think works. I think the disruption is happening, and I think the impacts of introducing with blockchain, etc., will be disruptive, and I don't think it will be a continuous thing at all. And there is a concept of tipping point, and the funny thing about a tipping point is it's obvious it's happened only after it's happened. So looking back, you can say, okay, at that point in time, things kind of changed. But if you live through the change, in many cases, you're not aware that the world is changing around you. So blockchain, for example, Ripple, we already have cross-border blockchain traffic running in production for customers around the world, moving millions of dollars. It's happening. That's one example. And I think in this disruptive world, it's not just the edges of the banking world which are being challenged. I mean, the whole revolution was around changing the surface of banking, moving from branches to internet banking or to apps. This time, the technology is going right into the middle. It's changing how our customers think. To your point, the predictions are that by 2020, there'll be around 50 billion devices connected to the internet without any people being involved, and they'll start to bank and transact with each other. But also, within the organization itself, actually challenging what makes up a bank, what you do when you bank, how much goes into the structure that we see today as a bank versus an Alipay or an Alibaba, etc. So I think the disruption will come because the technology is attacking every piece of the value chain. And the difficult point is that by the time it's obvious what's happening, it will have happened.
Thank you very much. And Marcus, you led very nicely.
I thought that was a pretty good clip to let you hear, having to do with that. Okay, NBK Crypto sent me this. FDIC announces first bank failure of the current events crisis. And I just wanted to show you this just to keep driving home the point. This thing is massive, folks, and I forgot to show you. You know what I'm going to do while we're sitting here? I want you to look at something because it is the most unbelievable. It's the most unbelievable thing I've seen in quite a while. If you go into my profile here, you can see there's my Tiger King picture. But if you go into my feed here, there was a chart that you got to see. I think I retweeted. I swear. No, maybe I didn't. Let me see if I did. Oh, yes, I did. Here it is right here. What? You got to see this, folks. The mammoth U.S. unemployment claims in their historical context. Watch this chart unfold. Look, it's showing you the years 1990, 2000. This is what we're in right now, folks, and this is unbelievable. Look at the 2020. This is the unemployment situation right now versus history, folks. Do you get the picture? Watch it one more time. This hit me hard. Look at the unemployment, compare the current unemployment situation, what it does in this crisis we're in. It is unbelievable. Folks, this is going to be nasty. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I believe the safe havens, if there's going to be any safe haven, it's going to be gold, silver, and crypto. And specifically crypto that has a use case and that has a limited amount. That is the ones that are going to be the winners, I believe, are going to be one of the few places in all of this where you can run and hide. XRP BART, and in conjunction this week, folks, the volumes, the XRP, the liquidity volumes are going crazy once again. Liquidity index for Bitcoin, BTC market, XRP, AUD, 28-day moving trend, day progress 92% today so far, 7.6 million, all-time high 7.3 million. Then there was this. This is a really good graphic from Fiat Leak that I wanted to show you. They're talking about the liquidity index of XRP against Mexican peso has recorded 20.9 million today so far, surpassing all-time record of 20.4 million. Watch this little graphic they did. I thought it was really cool. So anyway, they deserve the credit. And by the way, if you don't ever look at Fiat Leak, this is their website, fiatleak.com. But these guys have probably one of the better websites to illustrate how things, pricing and volumes that are going on in different countries across the globe. Once the thing gets cranked up, it's a really good visual of what's going on around the world, buying, selling, that kind of thing. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay, now I told you at the beginning of this video I was going to discuss with you what I think is going to be another one of the winners in digital assets. Okay, and like I said, I was led there just by bumping into one thing from the other. But what started the journey is this. Remember when they were putting together the emergency bill a week or two ago? Remember in one of the first versions, one of the first parts of that bill talked about the digital dollar, and they've been talking ever since about how they've got a system where they can get this instantly into your bank account. And I think there's been references made to mobile apps and all of this. Well, anybody who's been listening to this for any period of time, you know this is where it's going. Well, this was a tweet that kind of spelled this out to me from Spiro. Many have accused the U.S. of being behind the curve on a central bank digital currency because the U.S. has remained silent. The fact that the dollar was in the first two drafts of the stimulus bill means the U.S. is ready to roll out their own CBDC. All right, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, and I want to give some credit here. A guy that has really helped me in piecing together what I'm about to show you is Big Skinny at Not So Skinny 1. Go give him a follow. He's actually, I forgot to tell you this, he's the official smart aleck of the Digital Asset Investor channel, and I believe his older brother is the official older brother of the Digital Asset Investor channel. And so anyway, Mr. Big Skinny is the guy who kind of told me about some of this and helped me go down this path. So the first thing that I did when I heard about these digital, the idea of the government, because the government was talking about how they're set up to do it. So I went to my bank's app to see if my bank had any kind of an app or any kind of an ability or what company they might be using behind the scenes that could be to send money instantly to me, to see if that's already set up or anything like that. So, and then I talked to Skinny, and he said that he thought it was this company. This company is called Zelle, right? So I went and looked at my banking app, and sure enough, Zelle is what I saw. All right. Zelle is and I won't mention a bank name, so I started looking around here, wanted to look at Zelle, and they've got a little video here, so I thought I'd show you their video. This is Zelle.
Zelle is an easy way to send and receive money with friends and family. You know, people you trust. At different banks for all sorts of things. Zelle is offered by banks and credit unions of all sizes across the U.S. With Zelle, money moves directly between bank accounts in minutes, not days, making it fast, safe, and easy to send and receive money. Here's how Zelle works. Say you want to pay Jen back for your part of the pizza you shared. If you're like over 100 million other Americans, you can access Zelle directly through your bank or credit union. To see if your bank or credit union offers Zelle, head to the Get Started page on ZellePay.com. If your bank offers Zelle, go to their website or mobile app and enroll your email or U.S. mobile number. Once you're enrolled, you can send money with Zelle from your banking app. If Jen is already enrolled with Zelle, the money will arrive directly in her bank account in minutes. If she's not enrolled with Zelle, she'll get a message explaining how to collect her money. If Jen's bank doesn't offer Zelle, she can download the Zelle app, enroll with her email or U.S. mobile number, and enter the debit card she wants to use. After enrolling with Zelle, the money will go directly into Jen's bank account. Keep in mind, Zelle can send money from your bank account to someone else's in minutes. So it's important you know and trust the person you're sending it to. Now that you paid Jen back, it's time you both start looking for the next great pizza place to try. Zelle. This is how money moves.
Okay, so as we've said 1,000 times on this channel, underneath every rock financial rock that you look under, under every financial rock in the world, you will find Ripple and maybe XRP too. Well, there are some others that you'll find under these rocks too, but none of them is even, like I said, none of them is even in the stratosphere. And I like to compare it. I would say Ripple XRP's in the front seat driving, and some of these others are in the back seat. And that's one of the ones I'm going to tell you about today. Now, but let's look around a little bit more about this Zelle and see what else we can find out. Let's go down the bottom here and let's see partners. Let's see who's partnered with Zelle. As we go down, that says there are 766 financial institutions, 2019 volumes, 187 billion, 743 million transactions. Here's processor partners, FIS, Fiserv, Jack Henry Associates, network partners, MasterCard, Visa, technology partners, ACI, CGI, DB Banking Technology, IBM. And then we've got these, let me see if it shows anywhere how it works, or let's see if it shows any of the banks that they're partnered with. I don't see it anywhere in here, but anyway, I think all the major banks use them. Okay. Now, so what is Zelle? Who owns Zelle? Well, I looked into this and I found that the company that owns Zelle is called Early Warning Systems. Let's look at about Early Warning Systems. Early Warning Systems is, let's see, we provide information that transforms financial experiences. Okay, so that's Early Warning Systems. Now, who owns Early Warning Systems? Well, it says it's distributed ownership. Early Warning Systems itself is owned by Bank of America, BB&T, Capital One, Navy Federal Credit Union, JP Morgan Chase, PNC Bank, Ally, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. So there's the answer to that question. So I was just snooping around a little bit, found this distributed ownership. In 2015, Clear Exchange was combined with a company called Early Warning Systems, which offered a fraud detection, risk management, and authentication service. Early Warning Systems currently owns Zelle. Early Warning Systems itself is owned by those banks that we just named. Notice that while 30-plus financial institutions participate in Zelle, only 10 own the entity itself. With just a handful of players, the banks had enough clout and resources to build a competitive platform that other banks couldn't ignore. An upside to being an early adopter, platform collaboration, and then this Clear Exchange was combined with Early Warning Systems. I looked at Clear Exchange, Zelle. Clear Exchange is becoming Zelle. So all those roads lead back to Zelle. And then this is the Zelle Wikipedia page. A United States-based digital payments network owned by Early Warning Services. And they've got the whole history of Zelle and all of this right here. Don't think there's anything really too fascinating in this. But so I started looking around for Zelle. This is from the American Express website. Faster payment service providers move forward. As already mentioned, immediate payments services already do exist in the United States. The most prominent are the RTP system from the Clearinghouse, a bank-owned company and association, and Zelle, formerly Clear Exchange, owned by Early Warning Services, which is itself owned by a group of U.S. banks. Each has gained support from a sizable stable of banks, and some banks appear to be mixing and matching both with help from third-party technologies and consultants. There are other prominent solutions. One is PayPal's Venmo, which has gained significant traction as a person-to-person payment solution. Another is Ripple, which is building partnerships with banks, payment processors, and fintechs around its blockchain distributed ledger and XRP cryptocurrency, especially for cross-border transactions. While all market participants will have work to do in order to meet the Fed's eventual guidelines and operations and interoperability there, they have paid close attention to its work to date. Some submitted proposals that influenced the Fed's faster payments task force. Early warning systems did not, but calibrated Zelle to meet the task force criteria. So it says early warning systems did not influence the Fed's faster payments task force, but they did calibrate Zelle to meet the task force criteria. All right, so moving along. So then this was just me doing searches on Zelle and trying to find out all I could. Then this ACI Universal Payments pops up. ACI, let me see what this is. Okay, here we go. I'll go back. ACI partners with Zelle to offer real-time payments for financial institutions. Okay, so ACI Worldwide, a leading global provider of real-time electronic payment and banking solutions, today announced it has been named a technology partner with the Zelle network. All right, and then there is this from ACI and SWIFT. ACI supports around 9% of global SWIFT traffic and approximately 30% in the U.S. ACI offers services to banks around the world wanting to connect to and leverage SWIFT's Global Payment Initiative, GPI. ACI also supports real-time schemes around the world, meaning that any bank can use real-time payment systems to support SWIFT, FIN, GPI, DLT, Ripple, wire, and immediate payments. Now, when I started looking around to find out more about this ACI, I saw that these guys at SPQR Media, I have not watched this video yet, but they did a deep dive apparently on ACI as well. And so you should go give them a subscribe and watch their video. I have no idea what they found in this video, but I'm sure they found a lot and it's pretty darn good. So go and watch their video and give these guys a subscribe. They deserve the credit there. But I haven't watched the video yet. I'm going to watch it after I do this. A lot of times what I'll do is if I find out that somebody has done one of these type things, I'll intentionally not watch their video so that I can go and find out for myself just by looking around and then see what they found out. To me, it's a good way to go about it. Okay, so next, I bumped into this from I Am Legion. Just about every time I go and look for something that I haven't really talked about yet, I Am Legion has talked about it 2 years before. So here we go. Let's go down this hole. 1 of 11. We are all connected. Ripple, ACI, Zelle, TransferWise, Earthport, Swift, Accenture, Malaysia, Deutsche Bank, SIA, TIPS, Group BPCE, Monzo, Vocalink, MasterCard. I'm not going to go into all of these, but I'm going to show you enough so that it comes together in your mind. Here we go. AC Worldwide, we just talked about. All right, now keep looking here. That's their basically AC. They are a payment systems company headquartered in Naples, Florida. ACI develops a broad line of software focused on facilitating real-time electronic payments. And it says here the hardware supported for these products was extended to suppliers like IBM, HP, Stratus, Sun Microsystems. So these guys are big time. ACI Worldwide, with customers executing $14 trillion daily transaction, supports Ripple. XRP News. And then you've got this where he's showing where Earthport is partnered with Ripple. Okay. And then we can get out of that one and let's go to the next one. ACI and Swift. ACI supports around, we read this to you a few minutes ago, but it shows that ACI supports both Ripple and Swift technology. ACI announces new cloud-based payments connectivity to Swift. But launching TIPS-based networks without disrupting existing ones takes work, said Craig Ramsey, ACI Worldwide head of real-time payments in a press release. The company's UP real-time payments solution streamlines how financial institutions connect to TIPS. The solution is provided on-premise or via cloud and adjusts to meet requirements for pan-European or domestic systems. And then he's got ACI worldwide. It's all, I mean, this is what we were talking about in the earlier in the video, is that tips, right? Okay, so then it goes to here, tips, Accenture, ACI universal payments, how you can compete with cross-border instant payments. And then it goes, ACI worldwide provides access to all instant payment schemes in Europe. And then we get to here, from Accenture, our alliance ecosystem. We extend our technology and business capabilities through a powerful alliance ecosystem of market leaders and innovators. Together, we provide our clients the best specialized skills, new IT solutions. Accenture is one of the first investors in Ripple. We talked about them the other day. Look who they're partnered with, ACI Worldwide. ACI Worldwide powers successful launch of Do It Now Real-Time Payments Malaysia. All right, so let's go to the next one. I'm not going to go too far into this one. ACI, Vocalink, MasterCard, Deutsche Bank, TransferWise, ACI, Earthport, Ripple. Let's look at this one. ACI's Up Immediate Payments helps TransferWise connect to faster payment scheme. And then we've got this. This is Ripple on Earthport, TransferWise. We won't use blockchain until more banks use Ripple. And then this is just another one here. Okay, 6 of 11, TransferWise, Bank of England, Monzo, TransferWise Group. He's got all this stuff. I mean, it's just like, then ACI, Zelle. ACI partners with Zelle to offer real-time payments for financial institutions. Zelle, this is a clip of Zelle, the Zelle service competition with PayPal. They're including network partners, we talked about that earlier. Scheme vendors, Zelle network banks. He's got all this about Zelle. Okay, so really, really good thread. He did this back. This is how, he did this back in February 2019. All right, well, I just decided to go look who owns ACI worldwide, and what do you know? BlackRock is the largest owner of ACI worldwide, followed by the Vanguard Group. Then you've got State Street. This is State Street. That's one of the top owners in SBI Holdings, right? We talked about that. All right, now, where did this all lead me, folks? You might be surprised where this all led me. Announcing Interstellar. Some of you may not be familiar with what Interstellar is. Interstellar, combined company to be called Interstellar. Chain merges with Lightyear, goes all in on Stellar. Combined company to be called Interstellar will help organizations built on the Stellar network. Stellar Development Foundation to remain independent. Chain Inc. today announced it's been acquired by Lightyear, a Stellar-focused commercial entity formed last year with the support of the Stellar Development Foundation. Before I really get into this, I want to tell you one thing so that it's very clear to you. Not in a million years would I sell my XRP to get into Stellar. That's not the point of me bringing this up. I believe XRP is firmly in the front seat of this whole digital asset space. I believe they are the giant among little people, okay? But there are going to be other winners, as Brad Garlinghouse has said. I believe Stellar is going to be one of those winners, and I'm about to show you one of the reasons I think that. So that you've got this Interstellar, and when they formed it, now remember, stellar.org, first let me rewind. Jed McCaleb was one of the founders of Ripple and the XRP ledger. He had disagreements with Ripple and he left Ripple, okay? Jed McCaleb, who I believe, as I'm about to show you, Jed McCaleb over time realized he's not the guy that needs to be a CEO of a company. He needs to stay in his lane. He's a smart, really smart guy who is very smart in the same way that David Schwartz is very smart. These guys are next level smart, but that doesn't mean that you're a CEO type, okay? That doesn't mean you need to be running the show or you are good with the vision of a company. I believe that's why Chris Larson ended up running the show. Now, so Jed McCaleb goes and he starts stellar.org. Stellar.org is a .org in my opinion. I think this is very clear in my opinion. Still, they created a non-profit organization because that way you can never be accused of being a security. That's why they did it. If you go look at non-profits, they're exempt from securities laws. Or I don't know if they're exempt from securities laws, but if they have something, you can't say that's a security if they create it. All right. I believe that's why he did that. Well, stellar.org that's XLM, that's Stellar, right? So I believe that they created Interstellar is the ripple to XLM. Okay, so this is their company that's working on their core use case. Okay, that's for Stellar. Now, if you look at Interstellar, when they formed it. This is an article from back September 2018. And this guy, Adam Ludwin, who is Chain's CEO, is going to be Interstellar's CEO. Jed McCaleb is going to be the CTO of Interstellar. So I think this is when Jed McCaleb realized that his lane needs to be just like David Schwartz is. David Schwartz is the CTO of Ripple. Jed McCaleb realized he needs to be a CTO, not a CEO. All right. So now let's fast forward to September 12th, 2019, the Interstellar update. First, we're spinning out a new app-focused company called Pogo. Now, let's go down to the second paragraph. This is the interesting part. Second, and most exciting, Mike Kennedy, the founder of Zelle, is joining Interstellar as our CEO. Mike's success with Zelle speaks for itself. It's a payment system used by Chase, Citi, Bank of America, among many others. His history of innovation in mobile payments, FX, and banking, coupled with his track record as a high-impact advisor to Stellar, make him the perfect fit to lead Interstellar. I believe that this move right here is what will ultimately have determined Stellar's fate. And I believe Stellar will have their place in this digital asset space. I don't believe that they're in the ballpark of what XRP is going to be, but I do believe that they will, as Brad Garlinghouse says, that they will be one of the winners, okay? And that's why I wanted to show you where this led me. So Mike Kennedy started Zelle. You got the Zelle app on all these banks across the world. I'm thinking here that Mike Kennedy is going to make some things happen with Stellar. So I decided to go look at Interstellar's website. This is their website. We are a team of 50 in San Francisco, New York, Singapore, and across the globe, building a new payments network for the mobile area. And this is their office. They don't have a whole lot of information about their company. I thought that this was something you needed to see. All right, and that's it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not look, this just happened to pop up. Looks like Justin Vargas just did this sketch. So let's watch his sketch. He did one on Chris Larson. This guy is so talented. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family to go follow Justin Vargas, because this guy is extremely talented and he can digitally draw like nobody I've ever seen. Thank you for listening.